Hey, what is up mortals? It is James Efer here, and it's time for us to have a conversation before we get into today's video. So, there's just going to be a small snippet at the start of this video before we play what is going to be We the Celestials' last What If video from My Hero Academia. Today marks both an ending and an official beginning for us at We the Celestials, is with a mixture of sadness and hope, announcing the closing of one chapter and the dawning of another. We've made countless what ifs at this point, over 1,000 videos, from what if Deku was a Saiyan to, well, what if Deku had a stand. We've covered all different topics, in-universe, multi-universe, if you name it, we've probably done it. But now, it's time for us to end this chapter, pushing beyond these boundaries, and going a little plus ultra ourselves. The landscape of digital content, particularly on YouTube, has evolved quite dramatically, especially over the past year. As many of you have noticed, a lot of content on YouTube is now being made by AI, and this means that ad rates are going through the floor, makes it quite difficult to afford to make these sorts of videos. These changes have made it increasingly difficult for channels like ours to compete, just given the sheer volume of the automated content we're up against. Our What If series, what we made as our core content, well, that stuff is just being automated all over the place, and we've got no way to keep up. That plus the waning interest in My Hero Academia these days, while a lot of you are still very strong fans, and even a lot of our team is. Personally, I'm disappointed in the series. It had so much potential, but this war arc, it's happened so soon. And I get it, it's really hard to write a manga like this. He has done an incredible job up until this point, but it's just lost that spark. I'm not sure if that's on him or if that's on us and our expectations, but it just feels wrong the direction it's going at the moment. All in all though, all these changes, everything that's been happening, it's caused us to lose over 80% of our viewership over an extended period of time. And we've been able to track this data in comparison to the growth of AI. Maybe some of you have just lost interest, and that's okay. Maybe it's that we're being drowned out, and well, that's how things are going at the moment. We can either complain that that's happening, or try and see what we can do about it. But either way, it's going to happen. As a result, with everything going on, and just everything in general, we've made the decision to put a halt on what ifs indefinitely. Now, our videos will remain up, and this is not the end of We the Celestials. We have a whole bunch of new projects in the works, and we've taken some time to actually make sure that everything is in development before bringing this video towards you. You might have noticed that we've been gone for a few months. That's probably why. Sorry that we haven't said something sooner. But it's time for us to pivot, make some changes, and grow. Embrace this new opportunity and this new chapter for us all. So if you're interested, then I'd like you to check out the Celestial Codex. It's a channel that will be linked as well as an advertisement video on this channel the day it releases. So stay subscribed to this one if you want to see when that happens, and just check in periodically. The Celestial Codex is a deep dive into all D&D. If you're an audio editor, writer, voice actor, or video editor, and you're interested in D&D, come take a look. The editing style will be similar to our What If videos, just with, well, a different face to it, really. Next is Celestial Stories. It's going to be a complete storytelling channel of our own custom stories. They're going to try and stick in YouTube's monetization guidelines, of course, but there's really no fixed, how would I put this, rules for content that they can and cannot do. It's not you have to make My Hero Academia, it's not you have to make a superhero story, it is you might want to make a story about some heroes fighting in New York City against aliens, or you might write another horror story where there's this lake and this spirit keeps attacking people. Could be anything. So I hope you check it out. There's going to be some pretty cool stuff over there. And the last channel is Anime Deep Dive. This channel has been doing incredibly well over the past couple months, and we're trying to get it back on its feet. It's my personal pet project, and it's been that since 2020. I want this channel to succeed. I've put so much work into it, like with all the others, but it's just got so much potential, and if we can just crack the code on how to make it work, I'm sure it's going to be incredible. I hope you check it out. Some of our older videos are quite bad. Some of the other ones are quite good, though. So we're trying to take the good and make more good from it. Oh, it's been a while since I've been on a video like this. But yeah, I just want to remind you all, We the Celestials is not ending. Our time at What Ifs is, though. If What Ifs is all you wanted from us, I completely understand, and I thank you so much for watching. It has been an absolute pleasure to create content for all of you, and I am so grateful for all of the opportunities that you've provided, not just myself, but the team that we work with. But for now, this is James Efer signing off. Peace out, mortals. Have an amazing day. Enjoy the video.
What's up, mortals? It's Charles Orel here with a new video for you. Welcome to part 26 of What If Izuku was a stand user. Just wanted to greet you guys by saying...
Hi everyone, this is Ms. the Zombie. I'm the writer of this series and the editor for these Deku Stand episodes on the channel. I apologize for interrupting the story before it begins, but I feel like I should give you guys a quick update as to what's going to happen with this series and the channel as a whole. I'm sure there will be an update video in the future that will go more into detail about what I'm going to say, but I'll give you guys a very brief rundown. This is going to be a hard pill for most of you to swallow, but this is going to be the last Deku Stand episode on the channel. In fact, this is going to be the very last My Hero Academia What If video on the channel, period. Now, I definitely didn't plan on this series ending at part 26. I had planned on this series to continue until part 30, but with school, work, and the occasional writer's block, I simply didn't have the time to finish this series before the What If department was disbanded. For now, at least. To anyone that's interested in this story and where it'll go after this, I'll be posting a director's cut version of this story on the website archiveofourown.com under the story name Deku's Bizarre Hero Adventure. The first chapter is already posted, with the other chapters coming at a later date. I want to thank the members of We the Celestials for giving me a chance to write, voice act, and edit for this channel. I also want to thank the fans of the story who've left so many positive messages on the work I've done. I'm really happy that I got this opportunity and to meet the people I've worked with. So, for one last time, please sit back and relax, because the final episode of Deku's Bizarre Adventure begins right now. Take it away, Kara.
It was 2 minutes after the villains left the area through Kurogiri's warp gate as Midoriya was escorted back to the main camp building by Mandalay. The two of them entered through the front door, being greeted by a shocked Mina Ashido and Mezzo Shoji. Midoriya! Mandalay! Oh my god, what happened to you two? Izuku's face and body was bloodied with cuts, bruises, 2 black eyes, a few missing teeth, and a broken arm from his fight with Big Sis Magne. Mandalay was also hurt from the 2 lacerations across her body. We were attacked by villains, but it's taken care of, the pro hero explained. We need medical attention. Where's Vlad? The Class B boys' room. We made the room into a makeshift clinic to help the injured till help arrives. Mandalay exhaled in relief at Shoji's explanation as Ashido took the injured to the improvised clinic. As they followed the girl, Mandalay muttered to Midoriya that after they were patched up, she wanted to speak to Izuku in private about the stands he mentioned earlier. Upon entering the room, Izuku spotted Uraraka and Asui lying on 2 futon mattresses with another girl beside them. An injured Yayorozu and Class B's Awase were resting on the opposite side of the room, with Vlad King in the corner providing medical aid to Kendo. Sero, Mineta, Kaminari, Sato, and Monoma were also present, assisting Vlad with the injured. Okay, you should be just fine now, Kendo. Just relax, Vlad told the class rep as he finished bandaging up her left. Tetsu, is he gonna be okay? Kendo anxiously asked as she looked at said student lying motionlessly on the other side of the room. I used my quirk to stop his bleeding and replenish his blood. That's all I can do for now until help arrives. Thank God he's got the same blood type as me. The Class B teacher directed his attention to the 2 new faces entering the room. Mandalay! Oh jeez, Sero, get over here. I'm gonna need your help. Midoriya, I'll be with you in a moment. Izuku nodded as he lied next to Uraraka, taking a second to look at her, Asui, and the black-haired girl beside her. He noticed that their arms, chests, and faces were riddled with tiny red holes, as if they were thrown into a bed of thumbtacks. In addition, the girls looked incredibly fatigued, with their skin showing shades of yellow. Uraraka, what happened to you guys? Midoriya asked as he accepted a drink from Mineta. Uraraka opened her eyes and turned towards Deku. Me and Asui were attacked by one of the villains, a girl about our age. We tried to defend ourselves, but these holes appeared all over us when we restrained her. Afterward, we felt weak and tired. I think it was her quirk. The sound of electricity and static cracked from the outlet in the wall behind Midoriya. Then, from out of the blue, Red Hot Chili Pepper spawned into the room, setting its eyes on its green-haired target. Sounds like these girls got a taste of Himiko Toga and her stand. What the heck? Izuku's exclamation got the attention of half the room, who looked at the green net with confusion and concern. In their eyes, Izuku looked as if he was staring at a ghost. Pleased to finally meet ya, Izuku Midoriya. You could call me Red Hot Chili Pepper. I had a feeling you'd come to me eventually. All I had to do was wait it out at this building where all the electricity was till you showed yourself. I'd love to chat some more, but the League of Villains wants you out of the picture. The League of... Oh no! Everyone's concern grew further as Izuku became more fearful. Midoriya, what's going on with you? What are you looking at? Mineta questioned. Villain! The entire room went on high alert. What? A villain? Where? Where is he, Midoriya? Flag King demanded. Izuku summoned Personal Jesus to attack, but Chili Pepper shot his stand in the chest with 3 lightning fast gut punches. Blood shot from Izuku's mouth as half the room either tried to find the villain or were on the verge of panicking at Izuku's distress. Midoriya! Answer me! Where's the villain? So your stand evolved since the sports festival, huh? Doesn't matter. I fought stands a lot more menacing than yours years back. You're outclassed by a long shot, bucko. Chili Pepper wrapped itself around Midoriya's body, electrocuting the boy as he screamed from the electrification. Vlad reached out to touch Midoriya but received a hard shock that sent him flying into Zero and Monoma, toppling to the ground and paralyzing his arm. Time to go, broccoli head! Ha ha! Deku! Red Hot Chili Pepper converted the boy into electricity as Izuku's particles flew into the outlet behind his mattress as Midoriya's cry for help went silent. A brief moment later, Midoriya was shot from an outlet outside the back of the building as he tumbled to the ground, his body fried from the electricity, his vision blurry, and his breathing uneasy as every muscle in his body felt numb. The first thing Midoriya saw in his blurry vision was Red Hot Chili Pepper just above the boy's feet with its arms crossed. He panicked as he was too incapacitated to fight. However, the electric stand turned towards a figure approaching the boy from the bushes, one with the purple coat and a guitar in his hands. It was Akira Otoishi. Midoriya had a feeling this guy had to be Chili Pepper's stand user, and he did not have a good feeling about what would happen next as the man reached into his pocket for something. Please, no, please don't do this, Izuku begged. Quiet, kid, I don't have long. Just do what I say, and I won't do anything else I'll regret. Close your eyes. Please, don't do this. Please, don't kill- I said close your freaking eyes! Now! Hurry up! Personal Jesus appeared to fight again, but Chili Pepper hit Midoriya's stand in the face before Act 3 could land a hit. You're persistent, aren't you? Come on, kid. You're in no condition to fight, even with your stand. Quit making this more difficult and close your eyes already. The boy had no choice. He submitted to the villain's demands and fearfully shut his eyes, believing he would be executed on the spot. Not like this, he thought. It was faint, but he could hear the sounds of the other students inside, freaking out about Midoriya's whereabouts. He never thought this would be the way he'd go out, and silently said goodbye to everything in this world he fought so hard for. But then, he heard a camera shutter with a bright flash through his closed eyelids. Izuku opened his left eye and saw Otoishi texting something on a cell phone. Akira photographed Midoriya's body and sent the photo to Giren, along with a text saying, "Well, it wasn't easy, but I did it. One Izuku Midoriya fried well done with 300,000 volts. Tell Shigaraki the kid's toast. I'll swing by Shigaraki's hideout when you're available. We'll talk about my reward then. See you soon." Otoishi pressed send and the message was out. The stand user put away his phone, recalled his stand, and walked to his dirt bike nearby. "I'm sorry I had to do this to you, kid," Akira regretfully said, turning his head to the fry child. "You seem like one of the good ones, but I need to maintain my cover with this group I'm with for just a little longer. I know you have questions about what's going on, but for now, I need you to play dead for a while. Don't worry. I know how much electricity it takes for my stand to kill someone. You'll live." Otoishi pulled a Japanese self-defense keychain alarm from his pocket, pulled the pin, and tossed the alarm toward Izuku's body. A loud siren wailed from the chain as Otoishi rode off into the night. Midoriya was alone for roughly 30 seconds before Ashido and Shoji ran outside in response to the alarm. It's coming from over there, Shoji notified with the help of his quirk. As the duo approached, they reacted in horror at the sight of Izuku's fried body. By the time they got to him, he was already unconscious, as the pain from his back-to-back fights that night caused our protagonist's world to go black. Two days later, it was another sunny morning in Morio, as Josuke was eating breakfast with his mother. The two were about a minute into their meals without saying anything, as the only noise in the room was the radio in the background and their silverware. That was until Josuke's mother spoke after sipping her tea. So, I heard from Okuyasu that Jotaro came back to Japan recently. It's been a while since he's been here. How come you didn't tell me this sooner? Because he's not here for a vacation, Josuke responded as he scooped some egg into his mouth. Didn't you hear what happened a week back? Those Speedwagon labs in Tokyo and Meguro were hit by an attack. He's been trying to pick up the pieces and find the guys responsible ever since. I see, Tomoko responded, taking a sip of her coffee. Well, as long as he's careful. It's not like he's got a quirk or anything to defend himself with. He'll be fine, Mom. Jotaro's one of the toughest guys I know. He can handle himself. Tomoko replied with a simple, as Josuke continued eating. Seconds later, his phone vibrated as the stand user grabbed his phone on the table and glanced at the caller ID. Speedwagon? Oh, good grief. What now? You know, it's not polite to answer your phone when we're at the table, Josuke. Sorry, Mom, but I gotta take this. Duty calls. Tomoko rolled her eyes as her son entered the other room and answered the call. Hello? Yeah, it's me. What's up? I suppose I can. Why? What's wrong? What?! Josuke rushed to Central Hospital all the way in Tokyo as fast as he could. After a tense plea with the front desk personnel, he was escorted up to the 5th floor by security, eventually arriving at Izuku's room where the door was opened. Josuke peeked inside and saw several UA High students inside, mumbling amongst each other about some sort of attack. Higashikata didn't waste another moment and walked inside, causing Izuku's classmates to look at the approaching figure. Midoriya! Oh, jeez. They didn't tell me how bad you were, Josuke said in response to seeing Midoriya in his hospital bed. The stand user didn't waste a second as he summoned his stand and went right to work repairing Midoriya's damaged anatomy. Hey, can I help you? You know Midoriya? Kirishima asked, stepping forward. Yeah, I do. I'm here to fix Midoriya's body and get him back to normal. Speaking of which, I'm all done. He's as good as new. Kirishima's eyebrow curled as he turned to Midoriya, noticing that the exposed skin around his bandages was no longer burned and back to its normal color. He even saw his body stirring around like he was waking up from a nap. Midoriya? There's no way! Guys, what happened? Holy crap! Midoriya, you're awake! Ashido ecstatically cheered as she ran to Izuku's side. Uraraka and Mineta also swarmed Izuku, showering their classmate with love as Shoji joined him with a smile behind his mask. The students were shocked, surprised, and happy to see their classmate awake as, according to the doctors, Midoriya would be out for at least several weeks due to the severity of his injuries, even with Recovery Girl's aid. Wait, you healed him? Kirishima asked, turning back to Josuke. How did you do that? You didn't even touch him. Yeah, well, that's how my quirk works. I fix things really well, Josuke explained. This was a lie, of course, as he was quirkless, but it was a far easier excuse to believe than the truth. After Midoriya got some breathing room from Ashido and Uraraka, Josuke and Kirishima joined the others around Midoriya's bed. Guys, you're all here. Josuke? What are you doing here? Izuku groggily asked the stand user. The Speedwagon Foundation received an anonymous tip that you were hospitalized from a villain attack. They asked me to come patch you up and get some details about what happened. I know I'm getting straight into it, but you want to tell me how you got this way? Or do you need a moment? I'll tell you what happened! Mineta yelled in his usual cowardly tone. A bunch of villains attacked us at our summer camp! I saw Midoriya dematerialize and fly into an electrical outlet somehow! We found him outside minutes later looking like he was thrown into a bug zapper! Ashido cringed at the picture Mineta painted as she and Shoji were the first to find Izuku in his described condition. Electrical outlet? Wait! Josuke! I remember now! The villains! Izuku paused for a second to readjust himself in the bed. He had to inform Josuke about what happened. The villains that attacked us at the camp. Most of them were stand users. One of them said that I was on some kind of hit list or something. I tried fighting them off, but one of them was too strong. It was way faster and stronger than anything I ever faced before. Not even personal Jesus could get a hit on it. It electrocuted me to the point where I couldn't even defend myself. I think it called itself Red Hot Chili Pepper? Izuku's classmates looked at him like they had no idea what he was talking about. Josuke, however, was shocked at the news he was told. Wait! Red Hot Chili Pepper? Hold on, was it a yellow stand with a long tail, a burnt beak, and spoke with a scratchy voice? Yeah, it was. It had electricity powers and everything. I even saw its user. It was some guy with a guitar and a purple coat. Josuke was silent for a moment. He had a lot to digest from what Midoriya just told him. He turned his body to face the wall as he put his hands to his mouth, contemplating the situation. Akira, he's back? I thought that bastard retired from his criminal ways years ago. He's rolling with a bunch of villains now? Oh god, don't tell me the Speedwagon attack is linked to this. As Josuke was deep in thought, Midoriya asked Kirishima about the others and how they were holding up. He was a bit hesitant, but thought Izuku deserved to know what happened. Sato and Asui are down in Yayorozu's room keeping her company. Now, she's fine. She just took a hit to the head during the attack. Jiro and Koda are still out from the poisonous gas, and, Ojiro's in the ICU with Tetsu. Both of them are pretty bad right now. Ojiro's not going to be the same after this, and I have no idea how Tetsu's doing. Everyone else is at home for now. Well, except for Todoroki, Hagakure, Tokoyami, and Bakuburo. The villains kidnapped them. Josuke snapped out of this thinking as he turned his head to the chivalrous teen. Wait, Hagakure's been kidnapped? Was she a girl with an invisibility quirk? Yeah, she was. Wait, you know Hagakure too? Josuke didn't answer Kirishima's question as he got up and walked towards the wall, leaning against it as his hands tightened into fists. You gotta be kidding me. It's bad enough we have to deal with Akira returning to his old ways, but Hagakure's been kidnapped? Jotaro's gonna flip when he finds out about this. Damn it! Josuke? Are you okay? The man turned around, not answering Izuku's question as he pulled out his cell phone. Midoriya, I have to call my nephew and inform him about the situation. I'll be right back. As Josuke headed for the door, Midoriya yelled out to the stand user to stop as he had a request for him. Before you leave, can you check on my classmate Yayorozu and the others from the attack? They might know something else about the villains. Yeah, another student got her hands messed up from the attack. Her name's Kendo, Kirishima added. She'd really appreciate that healing quirk you used on Midoriya. Josuke nodded to the student's request as he dialed Jotaro's number as he walked out of the room. As he left, Uraraka approached Izuku's bed, leaning in on the bandaged teen. Midoriya? Who was that guy? He seemed really upset about something. Yeah, also, what kind of quirk did he use on you? He didn't even touch you. It's like he was magic or something. Ashido curiously quizzed as Izuku laid back in his bed. Yeah, magic. Well, that was Josuke. I've known him for about a month now, and, well, to be honest, I had no idea he could heal people. I gotta thank him big time. Midoriya looked back down at the bandages that almost covered his whole body. So Josuke's stand can heal people? Izuku thought internally. That's incredible! And based on how great I feel, his healing power beats Recovery Girl's by a long shot. I wonder. Elsewhere, Class B's Kendo was in her hospital bed, accompanied by her classmate Yui Kodai. Kendo's doctor spoke to her a moment ago about her condition, and what she was told made her entire world crash down around her, as Yui did her best to keep her class rep's spirit up. The door to her room opened as Monoma, Awase, Shiozaki, and Kamakiri came in to check on their class president. Altogether, they were the only Class B students awake from the attack. Kendo! Oh dear, you look horrible! Shiozaki empathized as she approached her bed. I haven't slept well since the attack, Itsuka responded with pain in her voice. My hands, they hurt so much that I can't sleep. The doctors gave me painkillers, but they're barely working, and they can't give me a higher dosage than what they're already giving me. The students of Class B looked at their president with empathy. Usually, Kendo was a confident, tough-as-nails leader type, so it was upsetting to those around her to see their leader in such a defeated state. The doctors have no idea what's wrong with me. Whatever that villain I fought did to me, I think he gave me some kind of an infection, and it hurts so much. The doctor says I'm showing signs of sepsis and they can't find the root cause. Kendo's eyes teared up, knowing she was about to explain the worst of it. A few minutes ago, the doctor told me my condition is worsening with no signs of improving. Because of this, they're gonna... Yui put her hand on Kendo's shoulder, interrupting her as the normally stoic and silent girl chose to explain the news for her as Kendo still couldn't believe what was going to happen. The doctor said they had to amputate her arms to give her a blood transfusion. Otherwise, she's going to die. The students couldn't believe what Yui told them. Everyone was taken aback with sorrow and shock, with Shiozaki looking the most troubled as her eyes began to tear up. Kamakiri, however, walked towards one of the corners of the room, hiding his face from the others as he was so angry he wanted to punch something. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I tried my best to help you guys, but it wasn't enough. Kendo wept as Yui gave her tissue to wipe her eyes, a gesture that got a shaky thank you from the class president. I'm your class rep, your leader. My job is to look out for you all and help with whatever hardships come our way, but I failed. Our class's friend. Yui told me about Takagi, Yanaki, Komori, and Rin. And now the villains kidnapped them. I'm going to lose my eyes. God, Tetsu, please tell me he's doing okay. He's in the ICU. The doctors told us he slipped into a coma, Monoma answered hesitantly. They won't let us see him, but they told us they're doing everything they can. Kendo shook her head in guilt as her lips began to quiver. I never should have let him go after that villain. I should have put my foot down, told him not to fight, and left it to the pros. I'm so sorry, you guys. I let you all down. Kendo, come on. Stop beating yourself up. You didn't fail us. Awase reassured as he approached Kendo's bed. I get things are bad right now, but they would have been much worse for us all if you and Tetsu didn't sacrifice yourselves to stop that villain. Look, I don't know what will happen to you in our class after this, but I think I can speak for us all when I say thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for us, Kendo. Really, you've been, and still are, an amazing class rep, and I promise that no matter what happens to you after this, I'll do whatever I can to support you. You have my word. Kendo's eyes watered at the kind words of her friend, with Shiozaki also sharing her thoughts. Indeed, you're a wonderful soul, Kendo. Besides, all isn't lost. Vlad spoke to us earlier and told us the Hero Association is putting together a team of heroes to bring judgment to those responsible for this. They'll bring everyone back safely. We just need to have hope and pray for their success. Unbeknownst to the others, Kamakiri grinded his teeth as the rage inside him reached its breaking point. He couldn't take what he was hearing anymore and punched a hard dent into the wall, causing a bang that made everyone in the room jump and looked at Kamakiri as he turned towards the fine-headed girl.
Damn it, Shiozaki! Hope and prayers aren't gonna do jack shit for us!
The entire room gasped at Togata's rage, with Shiozaki covered her mouth in shock. Everyone in Class B knew Kamakiri was a hothead on par with Bakugo, and no one was in the proper state of mind to deal with his aggression.
Kamakiri! Language!
Shiozaki scolded with hints of nervousness.
Language? Language? Really, Shiozaki? Look at our situation! 4 of our classmates have been kidnapped, Kendo's gonna have her arms chopped off and likely leave the hero course as a result, and Tetsu's in a coma. He was attacked by the same guy as Kendo, and she needs to be amputated to stay alive! What do you think's gonna happen to Tetsu, huh?
Everyone felt a sense of foreboding over Kamakiri's explanation, with Shiozaki covering her mouth with both her hands, frozen in shock.
Tetsu's my best friend. We did everything together, and I hate that I'm powerless to do a damn thing to help him! So excuse me for not thinking my language is the worst fucking thing happening to us right now. Kamakiri, stop. You're not helping the situation.
Kendo stammered, trying to de-escalate her hot-blooded classmate. However, this caused Togata to respond with an enraged,
No!
"You've stopped my outbursts in the past, Kendo, but I won't stop this time. Not after..."
All right, screw it. I think it's time we had a chat about this, since we're all here. Monoma and I spoke earlier about everything that happened at the camp, and we both came to the same agreement. Someone at our school is a traitor working for the villains.
The room went quiet as the B-class students glanced at each other, thinking about how that could be. Monoma stepped forward to explain, doing his best to ignore Kamakiri's anger. "Guys, think about it. Vlad told us on the ride to camp that the only people who knew the camp's location were the school teachers and the pros we'd be training with. The rest of us knew where the camp was after we arrived. There's no way Vlad, Aizawa, or the Pussycats would have thrown us to the wolves. The most logical suspect has to be a student in the hero course. And I bet you it was someone in Class A." Oh, Jesus, Monoma,
Really? You're gonna do this Class A rivalry thing now?
Awase scoffed, getting in on the discussion. Shiozaki interrupted the boy, asking him not to take the Lord's name in vain, a statement Awase was too annoyed to respond to. "Awase, I'm not trying to start something right now," Monoma clarified. "I'm just trying to explain something. If you just hear me out, I can explain why—
I don't want to hear it!
Awase yelled, silencing Monoma.
Firstly, I hear you on this traitor thing, alright? But we don't know if anyone in Class A was responsible for this. It could have been you, for all we know, or someone else in our class. We can't just point fingers and randomly accuse people. That's only going to make things worse."
"Well, either way, someone ratted us out," Kamakiri growled.
"And I'm gonna figure out who it is before they tell the villains where we're all at and kidnap even more of us!"
Togata marched for the door as Awase asked where he was going. Kamakiri responded that he was going to Yayurozu's room to interrogate the Class A students. Awase tried stopping Kamakiri's warpath, but the student swatted away the boy's hand and faced the opposing student like he was going to square up against him. Shiozaki recovered from her shock and readied her quirk to separate the boys. Just then, a knock from the door helped diffuse the situation as a tall man with a pompadour hairstyle entered the room. Hi. Am I interrupting something here?"
"What the hell do you want?"
Kamakiri angrily asked, shooting the man a dirty look. Josuke, being the pacifist he was, tried seeing past the boy's rudeness and introduced himself. My name is Josuke Higashikata. A friend of mine that goes to your school named Izuku Midoriya sent me here. Said some girl was attacked by a villain and isn't doing so hot." Wait, Midoriya sent you?" Shiozaki curiously asked the man.
"Midoriya? Wait, Midoriya's awake?"
Awase questioned.
"No freaking way! After how badly messed up he was?"
"Yeah, well, that's the thing. I fixed up his wounds. He looked pretty bad, but nothing I couldn't fix. Anyway, he sent me over to heal up someone named Kendo, so can I get through and help her out?" The students looked at each other silently, wondering if this guy was serious. He didn't look like someone who would be friends with Midoriya, and Kamakiri was suspicious about the man. He was of the mindset that someone was out to get his classmates and had a hard time trusting the man's intentions. Kendo was fearful the boy would lash out on the stranger and used whatever energy she had to sit up from her bed. "Kamakiri, it's fine. If he says he can help me and Midoriya send him, just let him do it. It's not like I have anything to lose at this point." Kodai and Shiozaki looked at Kendo like they couldn't believe she said that. Kamakiri was hesitant, but stepped to the side as Josuke walked by him to Kendo's bed. He and Awase followed the stand user, keeping a close eye on the man in case he tried something. "Hey, after you're done with Kendo, can you help our classmate Tetsu as well?" Awase asked the man. "He was attacked by the same villain as her, but got it much worse to the point where he's in the ICU and in a coma. Is there anything you can do to..." Yotetsu's request was slowed into silence as he noticed the look on Josuke's face. It looked as if the stand user was seeing a ghost, and in a bizarre way, he was. Covering most of Kendo's hands and arms was a light coating of some kind of black mold-like substance. The veins running up her arms were a menacing shade of black, almost like the mold was poisoning the girl. But that wasn't all. There were also tiny maggot-like parasites littered across the mold that looked as if they were slowly eating away at her flesh. Mr. Higashikata, sir? Are you okay? Shiozaki's question went ignored as Josuke quickly made a realization as to what was happening. Josuke was the only person that knew what was wrong with Kendo. She was being attacked by an enemy stand user. Listen to me very carefully, Josuke demanded, leaning close to the redhead with a serious look. Before I heal you, I need you to tell me anything you know about the person that did this to you. What did they look like? How did they attack you? How tall were they? I need to know as many details as you can give me. The girl glanced at the other students, taking a bit back at the serious tone in his voice. Kendo didn't see the harm in telling Higashikata what she knew and explained what she remembered. He had a gas mask and a school uniform. A black one. I think it was a middle schooler's uniform. He also had 2 quirks. One let him shoot out a poisonous gas that puts people to sleep. And, I have no idea what his second one was, but it did this to me. Itsuka raised her hands an inch before flopping down on her stomach. He attacked by raising a fist to us like he was holding a gun or something. I don't know anything more than that. Josuke nodded as he stepped away from the hospital bed, making a mental note to tell Jotaro his findings. But first, he summoned Crazy Diamond and got right to work on her hands. The stand disassembled Kendo's bandages, revealing an even thicker coating of mold that layered the girl's hands. In the eyes of Class B, her hands looked bloody, with her left hand having a huge hole punched through the back of her hand, with both her hands having small chunks of her skin and flesh missing, looking like her hands were being eaten by a flesh-eating bacteria. It was a sight that made her classmates react in disgust. Within seconds, however, Josuke repaired Kendo's hands, and the skin along her arms returned to its normal color, except for the black veins along her arm, which remained. However, just as things seemed to go positive, several of the parasites on Kendo's leapt onto the hands of Crazy Diamond, biting the stand and causing blood to spurt out from Josuke's hands.
What the hell?
Josuke fell against the wall as the students reacted in shock. Within seconds, Josuke felt his hands burning like acid was being poured onto them.
Crazy Diamond!
Josuke's stand attacked the parasites that clung to the stand's hands, smashing the leech-like hands into a pulp. However, the damage was done. Black puffy marks began to appear all along Crazy Diamond and Josuke's hands where the parasites bit him. Class B students looked at Josuke in fear as Awase asked if everything was okay, but received a loud "Stay back!" from Josuke as he got to his feet and left the room, leaving the B class students with far more questions than answers. A minute later, Josuke barged into the ICU, shocking every nearby doctor as Josuke tried to find the boy Awase mentioned. However, he was angrily cursing himself as he forgot to ask the B-class students what Tetsu looked like. He couldn't go back and had no choice. He ran around the entire ICU, looking at every patient in the room to find someone with black mold and parasites. It took the stand user several tense moments, but eventually he found the steel quirk teen. He could tell it was him from the mold nearly covering his entire head and upper body. A mortifying sight to the stand user, as his condition looked far worse than Kendo's. Josuke blitzed to the boy and used Crazy Diamond to heal what he could, reverting his body back to its normal color. But like with Kendo, the parasites on Tetsu's body did not take kindly to him and jumped to his stand, but Crazy Diamond punch barraged the leeches to a pulp, not knowing that several of the leeches got some nips on the stand's knuckles, causing more black bumps to appear on Josuke's knuckles with the burning acid sensation intensifying. Josuke knew he had to inform the others about his findings, but he had no idea 5 security guards were heading his way. Elsewhere, Midoriya was with his classmates watching the news on the television as they waited to hear from the doctor on his condition. Midoriya's phone rang as Uraraka grabbed his phone for him, seeing that Josuke was calling him. Izuku took the phone from his pink-cheeked classmate as he answered the call. Midoriya, listen, I don't have a lot of time, so I'll make this quick. I was just kicked out of the hospital. Izuku's eyes widened as he sat up in his bed. Wait, you were kicked out? Why? What happened? The students around Midoriya turned towards him as they picked up on Josuke's faint voice through the phone. I went to the ICU to help one of Kendo's friends. I patched him up as best as I could, but security kicked me out for trespassing. Wait, what were you doing in there? Is everything okay? Midoriya questioned. No, that Kendo girl your friend told me about, along with her ICU friend, are being attacked by an enemy stand. I healed their injuries, but the stand that's attacking them won't come off. I'm being attacked by it now as well. Don't worry, I'm not in any serious danger. At least not yet. The enemy stand infects people with some kind of infection that makes a person progressively sicker and eats away at their flesh. Me and those 2 school kids are going to die unless we do something. Oh no. Wait, can't you heal yourself along with the others like you did with me? Izuku asked. No, I can heal most wounds, no problem. But my stand can't fix my own injuries. Also, this isn't something I can fix. Josuke responded. I healed their injuries and gave them some energy, but I can't remove whatever this black stuff is that's on my hands, and when I try to touch it, it spreads faster. My nephew is sending Speedwagon doctors to the hospital to look out for them, but that's only going to buy us a bit of time. We don't have a choice, and we don't have a lot of time. Me, Jotaro, and my friends are meeting up tonight to go after the group responsible for the attack you went through. However, we have one problem we need your help with. We don't have any leads. Koichi reached out to another stand user I've known for a few years who agreed to help us, but he needs a certain something to be of use. Your friend with the red hair, Kirishima, I think? He mentioned some students that were kidnapped. Do you know the home address of any of those students who were taken by the villains? The first person that came to Izuku's mind was Bakugo, when he was younger and on good terms with Kacchan. He had the privilege of going to his house on several occasions to play video games and watch All Might on TV with the other kids in the neighborhood. Just the thought of all that and how he failed to save him from the villains gave Izuku a deep feeling of dread. Midoriya shook those feelings off and asked Josuke the reasoning for this information. We're not gonna do anything devious. We just need something with his scent on it. I know it sounds weird, but the stand user that's helping us has an excellent sense of smell that can track people like a bloodhound. His stand, Highway Star, shares this trait. We really need your help, Midoriya. Even though the request sounded bizarre, he was right. There were no leads as to the whereabouts of Bakugo and the others, and he had a chance to speed up the rescue of the captured. He agreed to help Josuke and told the stand user he would text him Bakugo's address later. Okay, I'm not sure if you'll be discharged later this evening, but if you want to join us, meet us in front of the hospital later tonight, and be ready. From this point onward, things are going to get serious. I'll see you soon. As soon as the call disconnected, Midoriya texted Josuke Bakugo's home address as he thought about his options. He wanted to join Josuke and fight the League of Villains in what would be the final showdown, but it wasn't that simple. After Josuke left Izuku's room earlier, Uraraka told Midoriya that UA High was in a very bad state right now due to the kidnappings. If word got out to Mr. Aizawa or the other school staff that he acted like a vigilante instead of leaving it to the pros, it would backfire on the boy severely. At the very least, he would get kicked out of UA High. But deep down, he thought about how he could call himself a hero if he stood idly by instead of helping those that he was capable of saving. He laid in his bed, contemplating what to do. He could either join Josuke's group in saving those who were kidnapped, or stay out of the conflict and let the pros and the other stand users handle it. A move that would guarantee his livelihood at UA. He had until nighttime to make his choice.
Thank you all for sticking around, and I really hope that you enjoyed.
On behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details will be in the description below. That's all for today's video, so goodbye and have a divine day.
Peace!